So shall we start?
Yes, sir, we can start, sir.
Madhukar sir.
Sir, sorry. Yes, sir. I was on another call. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shall we start, sir? Or
We can start.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind support for accepting our invitation. And this is third day, and your session is first session. And Joel, kindly welcome our speaker and start the meeting. Yes.
Good evening, everyone present here. Our next session speaker is Mr. A. Madhukar. He is a seasoned expert in refrigeration and air conditioning with an impressive 34 years of experience in the field. As the CEO of Climatics, he leads the design and projects department during driving innovation and excellence in climate control solutions. Hailing from Bangalore, Karnataka, he has played a pivotal role in shaping the industry, particularly in the realm of food preservation and cold chain management. His deep technical expertise combined with entrepreneurial insights make him a sought-after speaker on entrepreneurial opportunities in food preservation. With his extensive knowledge and practical experience, he continues to contribute significantly to the industry, helping in business optimize refrigeration solution for better efficiency, sustainability, and food safety. We welcome you, sir. We are glad to hear from you. We can start the session now, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. In the meantime, let me just start sharing my screen. 1 second. Sir, are you able to? Is everybody able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good evening to all. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some insights. What we intend, what is the topic, what we are talking about, that is entrepreneurial opportunities of food preservation. So I have tried my best to see how I can give whatever projection or whatever thoughts has come into my mind. Maybe some of the figures, what is mentioned in the presentation may not be accurate, but they would be more or less accurate because these are the informations which is got from the net or from the industry sources which we generally interact with. With this, let me start my presentation. So generally, what is it that we talk about is what are the business opportunities, what are the market trends, is what we will try to understand today. And then moving forward, so why is food preservation required? So what also I would like to do is maybe you can just note down all the questions. Post my presentation, maybe we can answer all the questions, whatever doubts are there. So I have just tried to cover basic about some kind of refrigeration also into this. Why is food preservation important? So that is what I have tried to analyze and cover. So I'll start my presentation with. So basically, food preservation is required to meet the growing demand for a healthier, long-lasting, and sustainable food products. See, all of us know food products are very, very perishable. So unless we preserve the food, just to give a simple example, all of us know that whenever we have rains or whenever we have summer season or whenever we have winter season, certain vegetables are expensive, certain vegetables are not available, certain fruits are not available, certain food items are also on the as a resultant of this, lot of your food items also becomes expensive during seasonal times. So this is something which is very, very important for us, and that is why we need to preserve food as and when we get the when we reap the harvest or whatever it is. So one is to prevent spoilage, ensuring extended life, and then safety of the food products. These are basically the main reason why we need to preserve food. So also in India, approximately 40% of food is wasted annually, and I'm sure every one of you would accept with me, because let's say, for example, we are sitting in a hotel with about 10 people around us. uh, Look at how much food is wasted. Point number one. Or let's go to a marriage hall where we have a crowd of about say 500 people. And if you look at the food that is wasted, it is humongous. So if we can try to preserve these foods which is not utilized, then that will help reduce the wastage. So preserving food maintains its nutritional value, it maintains its flavor, it maintains its texture. Texture means whatever form it is, the same form is maintained. And then India is the second largest producer of food in the world. So we also suffer huge loss due to poor harvest. It could be because of climate conditions, it could be because of natural calamities, whatever it is. And India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables in the world. So why do we need to preserve food? The primary factors and secondary factors affecting post-harvest losses is harvesting, handling, storage, processing, packaging, transportation, and finally it comes to marketing. So as we move on, year-round availability of seasonal produce will help us reduce rising food prices. Like I said, in certain seasons, like for example, tomatoes, you will see 100 rupees kg, 120 rupees per kg. Onion, same result here. Sometimes it is 100 rupees, sometimes it is 20 rupees. Similarly, potatoes, sometimes it is 80 rupees, sometimes it is 30 rupees. So if we are able to preserve food, then we can control this price rise to some extent. So let's look at how big is this food industry. So I will classify this food industry into domestic, commercial, and industrial, three categories. So approximate value in US dollars and INR, the food processing industry in India is valued at approximately over US dollars 600 billion. That is 50 lakh crores. Can you just imagine how much is 50 lakh crores? How many zeros are there after 5? So that is the kind of food processing industry what we are talking. This valuation reflects a significant increase from previous years, and it is scheduled to grow at 8.4%. Compounded annual growth rate is about 8.4% over next 10 years. That means every year this industry keeps growing. So how is this growth? What is the reason for the growth? Number one is urbanization. Number two is increased disposable income, changing consumption patterns. Demand for packaged food and ready to eat meals has increased exponentially in metropolitan cities. E-commerce platforms and digital grocery chains have fueled the demand for long shelf life products. Let's take, for example, packaged food. How many of us about 10 years back knew about our ready to eat food items that was available off the shelf? Today, if I am traveling abroad, if I want to take my favorite food, it is available in packed condition, which is ready to eat. Sometimes I just have to boil, sometimes I just can consume directly, sometimes I just have to put some water and leave it for about 5 minutes and then eat it. So these are some of the kind of ready to eat food items that are available, which was not there earlier. So these are the kind of demands that are coming. And similarly, our e-commerce platform like your Swiggy, Zomato, your Blinkit, Zepto, you name it, people are there today. Then, so what are the emerging technologies? The emerging technologies are cold chain monitoring, like a lot of sensors. The building automation system having various sensors helps us in monitoring temperature and humidity control in real time. Then ensures authenticity and reduces fraud in preserved food products. Then biodegradable and smart packing helps us in preserving the food if you pack it the right way. Then advanced freezing techniques like cryogenic freezing, blast chilling. This will reduce microbial activity while maintaining the taste and the texture. So, what is this cold storage business in India? What we are talking about? Only 10% of India's perishable goods are stored properly, and hence this results in huge loss because 90% of the food is wasted. So, what is the approximate investment what we are looking at? We are looking at an investment of 1 crore plus for a small facility. Of course, a lot of government subsidies are available. The revenue model can be rentals and it can be charged per ton of stored produce, can offer long-term storage contracts to retailers and suppliers. Now, this investment, what I am talking, is including the land, the setup, the machinery, everything is what I am talking about. It could vary from place to place also. So what are the key requirements? Number one is the proper location. Number two is availability of power or a proper power backup, logistics, the transportation, and then finally a temperature and humidity controlled infrastructure, the space wherever we are going to store these uh, food items has to be controlled with temperature and humidity desired level. So manufacturing dehydrated and freezing of dried foods is also a big market. Let's look at what the size is. Global market is expected to reach about the $85 billion, that is 7.1 lakh crores by 2030. That is what the industry is looking to grow at. High demand for ready to eat snacks, dehydrated fruits and vegetables, especially if you have to, let us say for example, prepare a ready made what do you call, let us say a biryani. You want to prepare a ready to eat biryani food that contains lot of dehydrated vegetables, because when you put it back in water and when you start when you use it, the vegetables should taste as it was original, as it was fresh. So that is why you need to dehydrate. So what is dehydrating? Dehydrating is removing the moisture content either from vegetable or fruits. So that helps us in preserving the food and vegetables. So required investment is approximately about 50 to 75 lakhs for machinery, production setup, and of course, any product that you need has to be marketed properly to be sold in the industry. So fermented food business also is a big business. For example, it is like pickles, yogurt, then salad. I mean, a lot of us would like to eat salads. Then probiotic drinks. There are a lot of health drinks which are probiotic. Then Indian probiotic market is growing at about 14% CAGR. And investment can start with as small as 10 lakhs, scalable based on demand. This is ideal for small entrepreneurs and home-based businesses. Then Orient packaged food business is another major constraint, majorly for export purpose. It is exported to US, UAE, and Europe. Have high demand for Indian preserved foods. So there are a lot of incentives also which the government gives, like APEDA provides financial support and training for exporting the food products. Approximate investment required is about rupees 20 to 50 lakhs, depending on scale and compliance. So what are the complaints? Any food that you manufacture has to have a certificate of FSSAI certification, HACCP, ISO, and FDA approvals. Any food that does not have these compliances cannot be sold in the market. Then let us look at cost analysis of cold storage, packaged food business, and fermentation based products. The initial investment of a cold storage business can range from 1 crore to rupees 10 crore, depending on storage capacity, location, and the technology what you use. Now, packaged food business is about approximately 20 to 50 lakhs for setting up manufacturing units, including machinery, labor, and branding. So the fermentation business like your pickles, yogurt, production require a lower investment, typically starting from rupees 20 lakhs with scalability based on market demand. So fermentation based business like pickles, yogurt, production require lower investment.
Hello, sir.
Typically starting from, yeah. Hello.
Actually,
Yeah.
sir, your slide is actually not changing, sir. It's showing only the first
Not
slide.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
It is not changing.
Not changing, sir.
Sure.
Yes, sir. It's not changing.
Shall I? So should I start from beginning?
Not from beginning, sir. It's showing only the first slide, sir.
1 second.
Now
Can you see now?
Yes, sir, now
yes,
we
sir.
can.
I can see it now, sir.
1 second. Is it moving now?
Yes, sir.
Actually, can you make it in the presentation mode, sir?
It is in presentation mode. Can you see now? Is it moving?
Yes, sir. It is moving.
It is
sir.
showing the second slide, sir.
Pardon?
It is showing the second slide, sir, now.
It is not moving.
Not moving, sir. I am seeing the second slide now, sir.
Now it is not moving. Okay, 1 second.
Not moving, sir.
Yeah. 1 second.
Yeah.
Let me stop sharing. Let me go to presentation mode. Just a minute. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, the screen is visible, sir.
Okay. Oh. Can you see now?
The screen is
Has it
visible,
got to
sir.
the second slide?
Yes, sir. I am seeing the second slide.
Is the slide moving now?
Oh, sir. Actually, I am seeing only the second slide, sir.
But then I don't know. I'm currently in the presentation mode only. One second again. Let me go back. Can you see now the first slide?
Yes, sir.
Can you see the first slide or you are in the second slide?
First slide, first slide, sir.
Huh?
It is in the first slide, sir.
Okay, is it moving now?
It's not moving.
No?
No, sir.
I don't know. 1 second.
Now it is moving, bro, sir. Sir,
Huh?
now climatics. Now it is showing climatic slide, sir.
No. Is it showing business potential, market trends?
No, climatics.
No, is it showing the first slide still?
No, sir. The
Yeah,
second
first slide, sir. First slide.
No,
You
what
can
is there on the slide?
you can go into the presentation mode, slide presentation mode, full slideshow.
Correct. Now I am in full slideshow mode. Can you see business potential now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Market trends. Can you see that slide?
Yes, yes.
Can you see why food preservation? Has it moved to the next slide?
No, sir. Still it
No,
is in a business potential slide only, sir.
I don't know. Second. Show presenter view. Okay. Is it showing now? Is it showing why food preservation?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Huh?
It's in the same business potential and market trends.
1 second. I don't know how to get into this presentation mode now. Okay. Let me just stop share again and let me see how to sort this out. Can you see my first screen?
Yes, sir. First screen is showing now.
Now is it moving? Is it moving now?
No, sir.
No.
Maybe, sir, you can send this file to us, sir, by WhatsApp. I can share from here.
One second, sir. One second. Just give me a minute. I will send it to you right now.
Yes.
I don't know. Mariappan, I have shared it to you. Have you received?
Yes, sir, I received, sir. I received. Joel is there? Joel?
Yes, sir, we will share
Yes,
the
sir.
screen now,
We
sir.
will share, sir.
I send it to your WhatsApp, Joel.
Yes, sir.
We will
I
share
got
it
it,
now,
sir.
sir.
We will share it.
Or you can open WhatsApp in my system, and then from there itself you can download.
Yes, sir, we are sharing it now, sir.
We'll start from beginning, sir. Okay, can you give me the slide control?
Yes, sir, we can give it, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you can start now, sir.
If I click, it will move. No, it's not moving.
No, sir, we can only move the slide, sir. You can tell when to move the slide, sir.
Okay. So, okay. Sorry for this technical glitch. We will start with the slides again. So let's look at the basic business opportunities that are there, the potential, and what are the market trends. Can we move next slide, sir? Okay. Why food preservation is important? Next slide. See, generally, food preservation is important to meet the growing demand for a healthier and long-lasting and sustainable food products. Generally, what happens is we will be wasting a lot of food. So, in order to prevent wastage of food, we may have to preserve the food. Can you please change the slide, sir? So, it prevents in spoilage, then it ensures extended shelf life, and most important is the safety of the food also, so that it is stored in a proper clean place. Next, sir. In India, approximately 40% of food is wasted annually. Just to give an example, let's say, for example, we have a marriage function where you estimate for about 300 people would come, and you end up about 200 people coming and 100 people not coming, but the food would have been prepared for 300 people. So, what will happen to the food that is there for 100 people? So, that food goes waste. So, if we can preserve that, this wastage of food can be avoided. Can we go to the next slide, sir? Next slide, please. Sir, can you change the slide? Okay, so why is food preservation important? Preserving food maintains its natural value, texture, and flavor. When we store it in a refrigerated place, refrigerated under controlled temperature and humidity, the food retains its original flavor and also the texture, and also the nutritional value will remain whatever is mentioned on the packet. It doesn't change. Can we go to the next slide, sir? So India suffers a lot of harvesting losses. India is the second largest producer of food in the world, and India is the second largest producer of fruits and vegetables. Can we go to the next slide? So, what are the factors that result in this losses? Is poor harvesting. It could be handling. It could be storage of food, processing, packaging, transportation, and marketing. So, during this process, there could be lot of losses. Can we go to the next slide, sir? So, uh, why is food preservation very important? Is to ensure year-round availability of seasonal produce. This can control the rising food prices. Like I was giving the example of vegetables. Let's say, for example, in some of the seasons, your tomatoes could go up to 100, 120 rupees per kg, and maybe 2 months later, immediately it will drop down to 20 rupees per kg or 30 rupees per kg. Some other vegetable during this time, let's say, for example, potato or onion, could be 80 rupees. The same price can drop again. This can happen in fruits also. So, to control this rise in food prices, we need to preserve the food. And if the food is stored properly, we will be able to control the rising prices. Next slide, sir. So, let's understand how big is our food industry. Next slide. Next slide. I have tried to categorize into domestic, commercial, and industrial. The approximate value of our food processing industry in India is valued at about US $600 billion, or in other words, 50 lakh crores. Can you just imagine how many zeros are there post 5? That is what is the industry what we are talking about. This valuation reflects a significant increase over the years. So the compounded annual growth rate, that is the CAGR, is about 8.4% year over year for the next 10 years. That means this industry will continue to grow year over year. Next slide, sir. So, what constitutes to this growth? Number one is the urbanization. Number two is a lot of people would like to spend the money what they earn. Changing consumption patterns. Demand for packaged food and ready to eat meals has increased exponentially in metropolitan cities. E-commerce platforms and digital grocery chains have increased. Let's say, for example, 10 years back, we had never got an opportunity to carry our favorite food when we were traveling abroad. we had to eat whatever was available there. Especially for vegetarians, there used to be a huge challenge. Now you can take your favorite dish, which is available in the form of ready to eat or which is available in the packed form for you to carry, and you can consume. You just have to add water, boil for some time, and start using it. Similarly, like your e-commerce platforms like your Swiggy, Zomato, you have like Zepto, Big Basket. There are so many e-commerce platforms also which have now started delivering your groceries and food items. Next slide, sir. So what are the emerging technologies we are talking about? In monitoring the conditions in a cold chain is very, very important. How do we do it is by having a lot of controls, temperature controls, humidity controls, our optimization in terms of power, all that can be done if you have a good automation system in place to monitor your cold room. Then reduces fraud in terms of preserved food. Well, let's say, for example, you have a barcoding, nobody can duplicate it. So that becomes the genuinity of the product can be protected. Then smart packing can help the prolonged shelf life of any food product. If the packing is good, it lasts longer. Then you also can freeze it and store it so that the microbial spoilage is avoided and you can maintain the taste and texture of the product what we are selling. Next slide, sir. So only 10% of India's perishable goods are stored properly. Hence, the losses are very, very, very high. So what are the typical kind of investment what you're looking at? Investment starts from rupees 1 crore for a small facility. Of course, there are a lot of government subsidies available. As we move on in the presentation, I have tried to explain what are the subsidies that are available. Then the revenue model is generally when you put up a cold storage, you whatever anybody can come and store the food in your cold storage, you charge on per ton basis based on the product what you have. So this will offer long-term storage. You can also get into a contract with the retailers and the suppliers for storing the food in your cold room. Next slide, sir. So what are the key requirements when we look at an entrepreneurship for food preservation? What are the key requirements? Number one is the location where you are going to have your cold storage. That means you should be accessible. You should have transportation facility available. You should have proper power. If you do not have the state electricity supply also, you should be able to have a power backup. Then logistics, like I mentioned, the transportation, it should be easy to transport the food items. And last but not the least, you need to have a temperature and humidity controlled within your cold room so that the shelf life is increased. Next slide, sir. The global market is expected to reach 85 billion, that is INR 7.1 lakh crores by 2030 for manufacturing dehydrated and dried foods. So high demand for ready to eat snacks helps and this dehydrated fruits and vegetables. Required investment is approximately 50 to 75 lakhs for machinery, production setup and marketing. I was just giving an example of today you have a lot of ready to eat food. When you open the packet, let's say there are some vegetables inside that. It could be your beans, it could be your carrot, or it could be your tomato. When you see that, when you feel that beans or carrot, it will be very dry. That means the moisture content would have been removed. Any food item, when you remove the moisture content, the shelf life increases and it can be stored. And the originality will be retained once you add water. The same biryani, you put it in a bowl of water as prescribed, let's say 100 ml or 150 ml water for 200 grams packet. When you put it in water, when you leave it for 5 minutes, the entire texture, the entire food gets cooked and it comes back to its original form, and the beans will taste like fresh beans as though you have got it from the market. Now, the required investment is approximately about 50 to 75 lakhs for the setup. Next slide, sir. So also we have a lot of fermented food business opportunities also, like for pickles, yogurt, fermented salad, probiotic drinks. There are a lot of health drinks coming today. So you can store them. Let's say, for example, probiotic drink can also be in the form of like your lassi, your form of chocolate drink, etc. Then the Indian probiotic market is growing at about 14% CAGR year over year. Then your investment will start with as less as 10 lakhs, scaled business on demand, ideal for small entrepreneurs. You can start with manufacturing just a pickle, add on the quantity of pickle what you manufacture can be in a very small quantity. As and when the demand increases, you can increase the manufacturing, and you can also look at storing them for longer shelf life. Next slide, sir. So, why do we need to have packaged food business? Packaged food business helps in export, typically to US, UAE, and Europe, where high demand is there for Indian preserved foods. Lot of Indians staying abroad. Recently, a friend of mine in America was telling the spices of Indians. Let us say, for example, your rasam powder or your sambar powder. There are only 2 or 3 brands available across the outside India. So there is tremendous opportunity for Indian spices to be exported in the form of various powder. It could be your wangibaat powder, it could be your masala powders and things like that. So there's a huge demand outside India for these food items. Of course, there are a lot of government incentives also, like APEDA provides financial support for training and exporting your food items. Investment required is a very small investment, approximately about 20 to 50 lakhs, depending on scale and compliance. And please note, any food manufacturing or preserving has to have compliances of FSSAI certification, HACCP, ISO 22000, or FDA. Sometimes some of this is acceptable, or sometimes you may need all of this if you want to export. Next slide, sir. So let's look at the cost analysis for a cold storage. What is packaged food business and how do we store these fermented based product? The initial investment for a cold storage business can range from 1 crore to 10 crores depending on the storage capacity, location, and of course the technology that you use to control the temperature and humidity. Packaged food business require 20 to 50 lakhs for setting up manufacturing units, including machinery, labor, and branding. So fermentation food business like pickles, yogurt, production require lower investment, typically starting from 10 to 20 lakhs with scalability based on market demand. Then fermentation pickles like your yogurt pickles with 20 lakhs. I think this point is repeated. Can we go to the next slide, sir? Typical cold storage businesses face high electricity costs, rupees 5 to 10 lakhs per month for large facilities, and logistics expenses requiring efficient energy management to ensure profitability. Now we are getting into the cost involved and what is it that requires to, if you want to start a small business, what is it that is required is what we are getting into now. We are getting into the costing, we are getting into the profitability. So we are getting into the actual managing or setting up a business. So packaged food business has about 40 to 50% of expenses towards raw materials, production, and packing, with a profit margin again 25 to 35%. That again depends on your competition, again depends on the product what you're doing. If you have a unique product, if you have a patented product, then there is no limit for the margins. You can dictate the margins based on the demand. Then fermented food products often yield high profit margins, 50 to 60%, due to low raw material cost and a premium consumer market for probiotic foods, which are generally termed as rich foods. Can we go to the next slide, sir? So, what are the financial risks involved when we set up a business? Typical market fluctuation in prices can impact production cost. You will need long-term contracts with your suppliers, your vendors for sourcing your raw material that is required to manufacture, and then hedging strategies to stabilize the procurement. Regulatory hurdles can delay operations, making it essential to have legal counsel and compliance officers to handle licensing and certifications. Then, logistical inefficiencies can lead to product spoilage, which can be reduced by investing in your artificial intelligence driven inventory, that is tracking of your materials, tracking of your goods, where it is being transported, what time it is being taken to transport from a place to b place. So all this logistical this thing can be monitored today. Our technology has so advanced that everything can be monitored today sitting in one place with lot of automation which can be done. Next slide, sir. So, what are the typical government grants and funding opportunities that are available? There are a lot of schemes like the Pradhana Mantri Formalization for Micro Food Processing Enterprises. See, this offers up to 35% capital subsidies to food processing startups. That means your plant, machinery, everything gets subsidized by about 35%. The mega food park schemes provide financial aid and infrastructure support to establish food process clusters. The agricultural infrastructure has a 1 lakh crore corpus fund available, offering low interest loans for cold storage and food preservation units. Now, I am not too sure how many of you are aware. The latest government regulation or the latest government scheme that are available is every district headquarters has got a cold storage market, an agri market where you can store your food. This is on the outskirts of most of the district headquarters. So the government is setting up these agri parks. Next slide, sir. So, what are the marketing strategies, pricing strategies? How can you ensure profitability? Competitive pricing based on market research. You need to do some research. You need to understand what the market is before you get into the pricing of the product. At the same time, you should also ensure that you maintain margins. Otherwise, you can't survive in business today. Premium pricing strategies depends on the type of food product. I have already told you, if you have patented product, then there is no limit for your margin. You can dictate the margin. Then, of course, bundled pricing and seasonal discounts helps in sales. You would all know, the more the discount, the more is the sale today. That is the market scenario. That is the human mentality, that whenever you start talking about discounts, you start buying more and more. People start buying more and more items. Let's say, for example, today you offer, when you want to buy something ready to eat, and you offer along with that 3 kgs of tomatoes or 3 kgs of apples along with the food item what you buy. So then the sale can increase. These are some of the options where you can have the schemes for marketing your product. Next slide, sir. So let's look at what is the capital expenditure and what are the operational expenditure in food preservation business. Capital expenditure typically includes your land, equipment, your refrigeration units, and the processing plants, forming about 60 to 70% of your initial cost. See, you have to be very, very, very careful in selecting the right kind of equipment what you want to buy. Otherwise, if you do not buy the right kind of equipment what you want, that could result in also shortfall in terms of the number of packets what you want to produce, how much you can produce, etc. Then operational expenditure typically includes your electricity, labor, maintenance, packaging, logistics, and all this can be optimized if you are smart. For example, you can use a lot of solar energy to control your electrical cost. Then labor, you can get into a lot of automation within your industry, so that you have the minimum labor that you have. Like for example, your packing machine can be automated, your production line can be automated. Then optimize your maintenance. You buy a good machinery product so that you have low maintenance cost, where your operational cost is reduced. Then packing and logistics, if you have a good packing material that you are using, which increases the shelf life, that reduces your operational cost. And finally, logistics, the transportation, kind of transportation facility what you are going to use, also helps in optimizing your operational cost. Capex can be reduced by leasing equipment. There are also equipments which are available on rent. To start with, initially you can start with rented machine, and once your business stabilizes, then you can look at a permanent investment to buy a new product. And energy efficiency can be achieved by lot of automation. Your system can be optimized. See, when I am talking of automation, what it needs is very proper monitoring. Let's say, for example, a typical example to give is a food product which has a shelf life of about 12 hours from manufacturing as a raw material, without refrigeration is what I'm talking. Now that product comes out at, say, at about 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the morning. Immediately, if you are able to shift it to a refrigerated space and stored at a particular temperature which will increase the shelf life, that the entire thing can be monitored from the time it comes out, the time it is loaded into the truck, the time taken by the truck to reach your warehouse or your storage system, and how quickly it gets into the storage. And there is something called as a pull down time in the storage. So how much time does it take? Let's say, for example, you have if you are transporting in a refrigerated truck, well and good. If you're not transporting in a refrigerated truck, then what happens is there is something called as a pull down time. You have to consider that pull down time also. If your temperature is at room temperature and has to be brought to, say, about 4 degrees or 6 degrees, typically, what is the time taken for that much quantity of food to reduce the temperature from room temperature to 4 degrees has to be considered during this logistics. Again, all this can be monitored, and you can always be improvising continuously to optimize your operational cost. Can you go to the next slide, sir? Then there are some certain taxation and other government compliances also, like your GST ranges from 5% to 18% depending on the product and the type of food what you are going to have. There could be import duties on equipment that can have an impact on your cost if you do not uh, factor this import duties during your costing. Then it could result in huge loss for you in terms of monetary benefit in terms of costing. So however, there are a lot of government incentives also for exporting. Subsidies by means of various schemes can be availed. Now there is also, like I said, strict compliance is very important, like your FSSAI, ISO, etc. Now, if you do not have these kind of complaints, it could result in additional cost in terms of penalties, in terms of withdrawing your product. You may have to, let us say, if you have sold some 500 packets of some food product to somebody, and if they find that it is not compliable, then the retail market will return back all your 500 packets. So that could result in huge loss. And of course, there are long-term benefits, like once you get trust. Let us say, for example, just to name, if you are very satisfied with Amul product, so you continue to buy Amul product because you have trust in that product. That is called as the consumer trust. So that will help you in increasing your sales, and at the same time you can expand in your market also. Let's say, for example, today you are staying in X place, where you have captured the market in that X place. Then you can say that I am selling so many kgs or so many packets in X place. Then you can go to Y place and give that reference of X place to promote your product. Next slide, sir. So what is the revenue model based on business type and what is the scale? Cold storage businesses generally generate revenue through storage fees based on per ton of material stored. Again, it depends on what temperature it has to be stored and how much quantity it has to be stored. What is the pull down temperature? Because your capacity of the system, capacity of the refrigeration system depends on what is the product you are storing and at what temperature it has to be stored. So long-term contractual agreements, whenever you don't have any short-term plan, because whenever you try to have any business transaction with somebody, look at a long-term contract. Say maybe 1 year minimum, at least I feel, according to me, should be about 2 to 3 years. Otherwise, it's not going to be a viable option. It's neither going to benefit the person who is going to come to you or you are going to be benefited. So it's better to have a minimum 2 to 3 years contractual agreement and also provide additional services. Like typically, if you have a cold storage attached, if you can have a freezer where you can freeze this uh, raw material, freeze these food items, that gives you added benefit, that increases your shelf life. So once you freeze any product, you bring back to refrigerated temperature of 4 to 6 degrees and then bring it back to room temperature. This can increase the shelf life of the product. Like I said, typically fermentation based business can have subscription models, it can have exports, you can collaborate with restaurants and hotels, you can have tie up with retail markets, etc., to have a constant number of saleable product and items. Next slide, sir. So let's look at what are some of the marketing strategies, because marketing plays a huge role. You might have the best of the best products, but if that product is not visible or if you don't know how to sell that product, there is no point in having that product. So let's look at what are the marketing and branding strategies. One typical thing which everybody talks today is your digital marketing, your influence of your branding, and packaging also plays an important role, very, very important role, because seeing is believing. We always uh, believe in seeing is if the product looks extremely good, if you have an attractive color, a fluorescent color package, it immediately attracts you. So a packaging also is a very, very important aspect when it comes to marketing a product. So digital marketing plays a crucial role in brand creating brand awareness, food preservation industry, and educating the customer as to why your product is important, how it is good, what are the pros and cons of your product, what is the manufacturing process you are going to adapt. So all that will help you gain confidence of the customer, so that he will continue to buy your product. Then influencer branding is an effective strategy where you have a lot of these food bloggers today. You go to Instagram or you go to YouTube or you go to Facebook. There are a lot of restaurants who are promoting themselves through these food bloggers. There are various food bloggers who promote your product, so you can use them as a good marketing tool. Then health influencers, there are a lot of health influencers. You can go to nursing homes, you can go to hospitals. If you have a typical product which will help you in controlling certain diseases, you can go to health influencers. Nutritionists, there are a lot of dietitians today. People have become more and more conscious about what they are going to eat, so the dietitians can help you promote your product. Then packing trends like eco-friendly designs, QR code enabled packing, so that it can be traced, it will know the shelf life. Today everybody would like to scan and understand what the product is, how much calories it has, what is the shelf life, etc. All that can be seen at one uh, single gadget with your as simple as your mobile phone. Then a strong brand identity includes a logo. All of us, let's take for example Nike. The logo looks very simple, but it has got a strong uh, it the minute you see that logo, you know it is Nike, because it's so powerful. The logo is so powerful. There are many such brands like that which have a very, very, very powerful logo, and the logo helps you. Number one, as a consumer, it helps you to remember the product. Number two, it helps you in promoting the product, and it helps you in also marketing the product so easily. Then it gives a strong message, and it gives you consistent branding across all platforms. That is what we are looking at. Next slide, sir. So previous lecture. So let's look at what are the effective online marketing strategies for any product. One is Google Ads. Then the next is your Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, specific consumer segments based, like your age, what kind of lifestyle you're going to have, etc. All those can be your online marketing strategy. Then search engine optimization. If you get into any kind of search engine, you can have your product to be at the topmost. Let's say now if I Google masala dosa on a Google platform, I will get your product can be the first in the search engine optimization. Of course, there are all paid ads also available. Those are all paid ads, so we need to have them. Then subscription models for delivery. You can get into, let's say, you can say that I will. You can tell them that every month in first week I will deliver all the materials to you on based on your requirement, etc. Next slide, sir. So what are the offline strategies? Hosting sampling events like supermarkets, apartment complexes, food expos, etc. To build your consumer trust. Then partnering with gyms, wellness centers, and dietitians to promote preserved foods as healthy meal options. Then distributing flyers, product booklets, and QR-based discount coupons at grocery stores, etc. Limited time offers, promotions like buy one, get one free for limited period. All those can be useful. Next slide, sir. Okay. Social media impact on influencer marketing, short form videos, like I said, your Instagram reels, YouTube, showcasing product benefits. Your process of manufacturing can itself be a good marketing tool. Then your short videos of customers who have used your product to sell them. Then live demonstrations of how the food is prepared. You can have a chef come and demonstrate. Then you can collaborate with restaurants, supermarkets, food stores, organic outlets. You can get into products like Zomato, Swiggy, Instamart, and you can also get into apartments where you can go on weekends, have a small tent there, which can help. You can have a live counter there, helping promote your product. Next slide, please. So supply chain and logistic management. A well-structured supply chain can ensure that your food product reaches the right place at the right time. It is handled well, transported properly, stored under optimal conditions. That will help in reducing your spoiling your material, and also help in controlling your financial losses. Proper coordination between the farmers, food processors, retailers, and distributions prevents unnecessary delays that could impact product freshness. Establishing just-in-time inventory without keeping overstocking what you need is what you can look at without having too much in material in stock in your stores. Unless whatever raw material is required, you can plan what you want to produce in the next month. Accordingly, keep your inventories. If you have multiple products, you can have product wise also. Next slide, please. So again, having a cold chain, that means your transportation, you can have a refrigerated truck, or you can have a reefer where it can be temperature controlled. Very important, especially if you're transporting any dairy product or meat or frozen food. it is advisable to have a refrigerated transport. So cold chain logistics infrastructure is only about 10 to 15% in India. That means there is huge opportunity available for refrigerated transportation business. Investing in modern refrigeration technology, insulated transport vehicles significantly reduces your losses. Real-time tracking, inventory management, like for example, you buy any small product today, immediately you get a message, you can track where your product is, etc. So that will help you reduce the time, and you know exactly where your product is, how much time it is going to take to reach the destination, whether the customer is satisfied or not. All this can be done real time. Next slide, please. Next slide. Sir, can you go to the next slide? Okay. So what are the challenges in your supply chain management today? Number one is high operational cost due to electricity consumption, or it could be because of your fuel consumption. Let's say if your vehicle, what you are going to transport is not fuel efficient, you will incur huge operational cost. So energy cost in cold storage facilities is approximately about 40 to 60% of your operational expenses. So the alternate solution is invest in solar power cold storage, energy efficient refrigeration system that will help you reduce your operational cost. Adopting low carbon transport technologies like electric vehicles, etc., which will have a very high energy fuel efficiency, which will help you in reducing the cost. Next slide, please. So next slide. Sir, can we go to the next slide? So lack of cold storage infrastructure in rural areas, there are, like I said, we have only 10 to 15%. That means there's tremendous opportunity for that. Over 30% of India's fresh produce is wasted annually due to inadequate cold storage facilities. So expanding your cold storage to rural areas with government-backed subsidies can bridge this gap. Private public partnership can accelerate your investment in decentralizing and having cold storage hubs. Also, poor road infrastructure, supply chain bottlenecks, and unpredictable transit delays can also have some impact in your supply chain management. Next slide, please. So like I said, you can have solar powered refrigeration systems. It helps in reduce 60% of your energy costs in food preservation. Then refrigeration, solar powered refrigeration reduces dependency on fossil fuels, cutting energy costs by up to 40%. Then again, governments are giving a lot of subsidies. A lot of people are willing to invest. Private investors are willing to come and invest in these kind of business opportunity. Entrepreneurs who want to do this kind of businesses, people are willing to come forward. And of course, renewable energy is the thing today in the market. Can we go to the next slide? Previous slide, sir. So this reduction of carbon emission in transportation are also being adapted by using electric vehicles and hybrid transportation vehicles. Next slide, sir. Consumers are shifting more towards preservation free and minimally processed food options. Organic food preservation uses natural fermentation, freeze drying, vacuum sealing, etc. That will help you increase the shelf life of the product. Then Indian organic food market is projected to grow at about 20% CAGR by 2030. Ready to eat and frozen meals market projected to grow at CAGR of 12% by 2028. Cloud kitchen is becoming a big success. Cloud kitchen is the driving need for pre-cooked preserved meal solutions. Next slide. So what are the trends today? rise in vegan and plant-based alternatives requires innovative preservation method. The global plant-based food industry is valued at about 35 billion with demand for preserved vegan alternatives. Then preservation technique like modified atmosphere packing, cold pasteurization, maintaining plant and quality-based foods, etc. Then companies are focusing more on shelf life of alternative proteins like your tofu, tempeh, and plant-based meat. Can we go to the next slide? So, what are the tax benefits and financial incentives if you are going to for an eco-friendly packing? Business using biodegradable packing receives tax deductions, GST exemptions in few states. Then government-led green packing initiatives offer financial grants to companies switching to sustainable materials. Large food corporation adopting sustainable packaging quality for environment, social, and governance funding incentives. Next slide. So renewable cold storage also have a lot of funding from your agricultural infrastructure fund, provides up to 1 lakh crore for infrastructure, including solar powered refrigeration system. NABARD, that is the NABARD, offers subsidized loans for installing renewable energy based cold storage systems. State governments provide rebates on electricity costs for businesses using sustainable energy solutions in food preservation. Next slide, sir. So, Startup Initiative provides funding up to 50 lakh for businesses with innovating waste reduction. FSSAI Eat Right India campaign supports startups working on food sustainability projects. Businesses focusing on upcycling food waste into new products are eligible for government-backed incubation programs. Next slide, sir. So, the conclusion is, what is it that we have understood throughout now is investing in food preservation has a huge potential in India with a market worth 50 lakh crores. So the industry is growing rapidly due to increased demand for convenience of food storage, better supply chain infrastructure, and government support. Entrepreneurs can tap into various segments from cold storage and packing innovations to artificial intelligence driven supply chain solutions. Innovation in nanotechnology, food based preservation is expected to further extend shelf life without additives. Today nobody is talking about nanotechnology in food, but once if things start catching up in nanotechnology, that's going to be a big opportunity for all. Next slide, sir. So, sustainable practices are becoming essential for compliance and consumer acceptance. Governments and consumers are pushing for eco-friendly packing, zero waste production, energy efficient logistics. Businesses implementing green technologies and carbon footprint reduction strategies will be preferred by investors and global markets. Success depends on effective supply chain management, regulatory compliance, and innovative business models. Companies that integrate advanced logistics, artificial intelligence driven inventory management, regulatory adherence will achieve long term growth. Next slide, sir. So, entrepreneurs must continuously adapt to market trends, leverage digital transformation, and build strong partnerships to scale successfully. The food preservation market offers a lot of potential with opportunities to innovate in sustainability, health conscious solutions, and convenience. So, there's a lot of growing demand for longevity of the product, convenience of availability of the product, nutrition of the product, and entrepreneurs can look into these unique categories or niche market in this space. Next slide, sir. So with this, I come to the end of my presentation. Maybe if we can stop sharing, we can take a few questions. I don't know. I'm not sure whether I was fast or I was okay. Not too sure. Maybe that can be given as a feedback. Maybe you can stop sharing.
Thank you, sir. So I request the participants, if you have any questions, you can interact with sir.
Dr. Raman has given a lot of comments in the chat box.
Yes, sir. He is one of the speakers, sir. He is going to present in the next coming days. Sir, Dr. Raman, sir, you want to comment anything or you want to have any interaction with sir?
No, it's a very fantastic lecture with a lot of information actually regarding this commercial aspects and other. I hope many of your students actually they will take up this business also in future, I feel. And thank you very much for the lecturer as well as Professor Mariappan. Thanks actually.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I hope I have done justice with this presentation.
Yes, yes, sir. Actually, you talked about nanotechnology, sir. How we can bring this nanotechnology in our cold storage system, sir, in the form of maybe any phase change material or what? Any insight is there, sir? Anything you can write on that?
One is, I think there is a lot of research happening. You must be aware of this Peltier technology.
Yes, sir.
A lot of research is happening on that. Of
Okay.
course, ISRE as a society is also giving some project grants under these kind of research that is happening. So that is one which is fast catching up. And then coming to the technology per se, your sizing of the using nanotechnology, the component sizes can be reduced. So that is what we should be looking forward to moving forward. The systems are becoming more and more compact today.
In the material itself, we can
Yeah,
add nanoparticles. You want me
correct.
to say
Nanoparticles.
both in the maybe refrigerant side as well as the
Yes,
insulating
yes,
materials.
yes,
All
yes.
this thing. Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
the basic refrigeration cycle components is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, participants, feel free to ask any questions. Okay, if no more question, Ravi or Joel.
I
Please,
hope I was not too fast.
no, sir. No,
no.
fast, sir. Okay, Ravi or Joel, just to thank the speaker and conclude the session.
Okay, sir. You will conclude it now, sir.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for giving us a wonderful lecture, sir. You spoke detailedly about cost analysis for cold storage, packaged food business, and fermentation-based products, and fermented food business, and estimating the operational cost and profitability of it. And you also mentioned packaged food business has 40 to 50% of expenses towards raw material and production and packaging, with a huge profit margin of 25 to 35%. And you also discussed about the financial risks. Thank you for this wonderful lecture, sir. It will be very useful for us. Hope we will see you again in a different workshop. Thank you.
Looking forward, sir. Looking forward anytime.
Sir, maybe your number can be shared if anybody is interested or anybody wanted to do some entrepreneurial this thing.
Please,
Maybe
please.
yeah.
Please, you can share. You can share, sir. You can share.
Yeah. So thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time spare with us. So we'll look forward and we'll have collaboration in future also, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure. Welcome.
So participants, the next presentation will be around 7:30. So the next presenter is from England. He has to join by 7:30. So you can take a 15 minutes break and then you can, no need to go from this, you can stay and then 7:30 we'll start the session next. Thank you so much.
Okay. I will log out, sir. I will log out, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah.
So next speaker has joined, I think. Professor Sendil sir. Professor. Audio is not. Audio is coming.
Mic on.
Sound, but very feeble. Sir, your sound is very feeble, sir. Hello. Sir, it's not audible, sir. Maybe you can log out and log in again, sir. Professor? Yeah. Good evening, Professor.
Sir, good evening, sir. Can you hear me? I can't hear you actually.
Now, sir, now are you able to hear me?
No, I can't hear you. So can I think I'll go out and then join again.
Maybe, sir. Yeah. But we'll ask other participants also. Participants
Yeah,
are
since
able
you
to
are
say.
speaking, but I can't hear. So what I'll do, I'll just leave the meeting and then rejoin again.
Yes, sir.
We are able to hear both of you, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are interrupting. மைக் இது பண்ணிட்டோம் ரெக்கார்டிங்ல ஹெட்செட் மாற்றி போட்டதுனால பிரச்சனை வருது அதனால.
இன்ட்ரோ கொடுக்கும் நீங்க
Hello.
Yes, Professor. Now, able to hear me?
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, Professor. Very well.
Oh, okay, sir. Super.
Very, sir.
Okay. I'll just optimize motion and video. Okay. Continue.
Sir, we'll formally welcome you, sir. After that, you
Okay,
can
sir.
start your
No
presentation.
problem. Okay. So can you able to see my slides?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're able to see you.
Fantastic. Okay, sir. Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Sir,
evening.
good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Warmly welcome you to our written program, sir. Actually, Central Offices is a professor in the School of Computing Engineering and Digital Technologies at Tertiary University, England. His passion towards energy and sustainability in the energy sector has started during his pre-doctoral research course, helpful in applications. His next to is PhD in organic solar cells materials. He has published over 250 articles in well-reputed journals and conferences, along with 7 books. The professor currently leads the Sustainable Energy Material Themed Research in Tertiary University. His research focus in sustainable energy vectors improve renewable energy, especially in solar energy. He has strong background in research assessment, theoretical modeling, and simulation for different solar systems, including thin film, PV, and third generation solar cell materials and devices and solar thermal. Currently, he has come present here to speak about the topic renewable energies in food preservation. Sir, you may continue the lesson, sir.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. Yes. Sir, please unmute your mic, sir.
Yeah. continue and share my window. Can you see the slides, right?
Yes, Professor. Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you, or good evening to all of you. So I'm Sendila Sundaram. I'm planning to give you a talk actually. So I'll talk about the sustainability of energy generation, particularly in the third generation type solar cells. Before going into these details, I'll just give you a brief about our school and then about our university and then what we are doing for the net zero applications towards the energy generation, something like that. And then I'll tell you so what my group is doing here in Teesside University. So after that I'll give you a brief about my work in different sectors for solar cells and then how we are applying them into a different type of categories, especially for some of the agricultural point of view as well actually. So our university is based near to the Newcastle. If you know about the UK map, and it's near to the Scotland. So almost like a border of Scotland. So this area we call as a Tees Valley. Actually, it's like an industrial valley. So historically, last 70, 80 years, there's lots of industries were there. So almost like 60 medium and large scale industries are based in this area. And then so our carbon dioxide emission towards the if you take the throughout UK, almost like a 50% of the industrial carbon emission comes from this sector actually. That's why the government and the university trying to do something to educate the industrial people, or trying to work along with them and taking their research, or taking their technology and try to convert them into the net zero point of view. For that, in 2023, so we started a net zero industrial innovation center, so which is like an 16.4 million pound worth of investment from the ERDF and TVCA and Teesside University. So this center is just outside of our university, so which is like 1 mile from our university campus. So that center is especially dealing with the industries and trying to create a bespoke solutions for the different types of industries. So holistically, so we approach quite a lot of things in terms of carbon capturing, hydrogen generation from the waste, and then we try to create the smart energy systems for them. And so we have circular economy aspects, and then the life cycle analysis of some of the material bases here. And then so we try to create the digital modeling and simulation for the industries as well as for the projects actually. So apart from that, so this institute itself actually, so they are specializing in the business expertise, so which they will deal with the businesses and then trying to reduce their carbon emission and creating more hostile environment for them actually. And then so we work quite a lot with the policy makers as well in this area. So especially this area is most deprived area in the UK. So it's classified as a most deprived area because of the loss of industries, and then so most of the people, they never go to the higher education sector. That's why this university was established almost like 100 years ago, and trying to boost up that education thing. So from here, like 15 miles away, so we have a Durham University, so which is one of the world-class university, and then we have the Newcastle University, and then we have Sunderland University and the Northumbria University. These 5 universities called actually the Northeastern Universities Alliance actually, which they also participate in these type of programs as well actually. So we have a central pot of money which can be which is available for the industries, not for the any other people. Industries can come with a problem, or if they are throwing quite a lot of carbon into the atmosphere, they can come and consult with us, then we will give them bespoke solutions for them, how to reduce their carbon emission and other stuff, something like that. So uniquely the hydrogen generation, what we are doing, and then the hydrogen storage, as well as the hydrogen transportation. So these are the three aspects. This some of our colleagues are working, and then I'm working in the hydrogen transportation in the pipelines. So which is, how to take it forward, or how you can store it inside the some of the underground stuffs, so where so we have lots of mining sites here, so which is abandoned now, and then how we can use it and then store the hydrogen inside using the pipings and other stuff. So that's what we are planning to do. And then some of the work I do with an industry to store the hydrogen in the pipelines, like a steel pipes or any other pipe, actually how to store the hydrogen, and then what are the ways to store them, and how the leakage will be happening, and how to prevent it, what type of coatings we can create. Those type of aspects I'm working in that project actually. So apart from that, so we formed into centers, and so these centers are focusing on each part of the sustainability. So our center is called the Sustainable Engineering, so which I'm part of it actually. So even though part of the Net Zero Center is like the industrial focus, and then the research focus is based on the sustainable engineering. So where we work on the smart energy and smart grids, constructions and innovation research, hydrogen engineering, and then sustainable energy and technologies. My group is focusing on the sustainable energy, materials, and then the technologies actually. So in my group, if you take last 20 years, I tried to work on the energy, water, food, and then the healthcare nexus type of problems. So we create materials and then making them into a smaller type solar cells, and then testing them under the laboratory conditions, and then scaling them up into the bigger cells, like an 15 by 15, or some of my cells are like a 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter, and then making into the system level stuffs actually. And then apart from these things, it's like an 50% of my time, my lab work will be going into the material innovation, which will be directly used into the photovoltaics or the solar cells. And then some of them are another 50% will be into the applications. So we use quite a lot of our solar cells into the building integration, and then sustainable transport and storage materials. And storage means mostly I work on the heat storage, not in the electricity storage actually. So, and then we use some of the recycling materials for these purposes actually. And last 5-7 years actually, so we work on the water and food nexus problems as well, and then how the energy is connected with these problems, and then how we can address some of the issues happening in the water sector and then food sector through the material innovation as well. And then now I'm branched into the healthcare sector, so where we try to provide the energy for the where people are not having an access to the electricity through the solar panels and then solar cells. Especially we try to create the maternity wards into a the solar energy based maternity wards actually. So in the Africa we did quite a bit of work, and apart from that, and then some of our material innovation we try to apply them into the dementia research actually. So like so what type of materials are so for example, dementia will be happening to the old age people, but most of the time it's very hard to predict it actually. So whether a 40 years old person or 30 years old person, whether he will get it or not, so then accordingly, so we will alter the patient's life or their healthy lifestyles, we can provide something like that. Actually, this is a very basic kind of a research we try to do. We create some engineering aspects, creating some sensors and then solar based sensors as well, actually, to measure some of the parameters in our body and health, and then doing the long term studies on those people and try to predict them how the cognitive declining will be happening in that sector. So this is my group, and then this is what we mostly are doing. So I'm sure most of you have seen this graph many times and then many occasions as well, actually. In terms of solar energy conversion, so we can do it through two types. One is you can use solar panels and convert that light into the electricity, or heat into the heat storage, and then convert that heat into electricity later on, or maybe you can use the heat itself directly. So for electricity conversion, so we have a plenty of materials. I would say almost like a 2,000 varieties of molecules can able to absorb the sunlight and then convert into the electricity. But very particularly, very few types of solar materials are coming into the picture, are coming into the market level, and then penetrating into the market and then into the applications and other stuff. So based on these materials, we can classify them into three different types, actually. So you can see some of the efficiency this side, and then the time taken for us to achieve these efficiencies. Most of these efficiencies are the lab-based efficiencies, which is like a very smaller cells, maximum 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter square area. So that's the solar efficiency you can see. So in a system level, like whatever we see in the outside, maybe in our roofs or in our fields and other stuff, those solar panels may not be efficient like these ones. Like these are like an topmost efficiency you can get from the things. We'll talk about these things later on in the further slides. And so so usually we classify them into 4 different types of solar cells. At the moment, so, most of the time, so we talk about 3 different types of solar cells, or 3 generations of solar cells, actually. So most of you know, or may not be, so so few people, maybe it's completely new to you, actually. So the solar cell are when you shine a light on a semiconductor, it can able to create a voltage and a current. So we know these things hundreds of years, actually, almost like 1800s, we know about that, actually. But until 1950s, we don't want to make solar cells, because we don't need to have a solar cell in purpose, or we don't need to have a urgency to make the solar panels or solar cells for the market. So the first generation solar cells happening in the 1950s, so where the silicon industry started blooming. So the silicon industry, historically, it made for the chips to make the transistors and then the transformers, all those type of electrical components and electronic components. People were making the silicon as or the silicon as a semiconductor to use those things, actually. So during that period, they accumulated a huge amount of waste. So that waste needs to be recycled, and then that's how the first silicon solar cell came in. So in fact, silicon is one of the worst material for the solar energy conversion. It's an indirect band gap material, and then it needs a very thick layer of silicon to have, and then the flexibility is very less compared to some of the new generation of solar cells. So these first generation solar cells are not blooming, or are not taking it up, actually, until 1970s. So 1970s or mid 1970s, there was a report published by the renewable energy experts, or the energy experts. Our the natural gas and the petroleum will be get over by 2020, which is like 5 years ago. So before that, we have only 50 years to go, and then we have to find the alternative solutions to have our energy needs. So that's how these first generation solar cells and the solar energy become the limelight actually. So everybody moved into that sector, and then people trying to invest quite a lot of money. So even because the last 20 years from 1950 to 1970s, 20 years silicon industry improved a lot, and then they know how to make the silicon semiconductors. So obviously they take over, and then they started making these solar panels as a first generation solar cells. So even though the efficiency is very low at that time, and then quite a lot of the improvements happened after 1970s. So when the people started making solar cells from the silicon based, and then the silicon wafer itself actually, and then they found out it needs lots of material and then thicker materials to have an enough energy to be absorbed, something like that. So for that reason, and then they wanted to have an alternative solution or alternative materials to go about it. So there, the particular aim is to thin down the material, not the alter the process of the making the solar cells and other stuff, something like that actually. What they did, they take all the recipes from the silicon solar cells, and then they tried different types of materials like a cadmium telluride, copper indium gallium selenide, and then the lots of organic materials, all those things happening in the second generation. The focus is to thin down the material, so where you can save lots of materials, in a large scale generations actually. These two generations, like a first generation and second generation, they use huge amount of chemical process into the system to make their solar cells. So for example, if you take the silicon, the silica as a sand, it's a SiO2. If you want to remove the oxygen from the silicon, you need to spend huge amount of energy and then the chemical processes to make as a silicon. And then to make these semiconductors, again you need to do a doping and other stuff, which is again taking a huge amount of energy in this process. So this same process they are adopting into the second generation. They use the similar type of toxic methods to make these types of first and second generation solar cells. So in 1990s or that period, people find out, so we are polluting the environment a lot through these solar energy generation. And then the price is also very, very high to make these type of solar cells. Why don't we go for low cost and then environmental friendly materials? This time they have the right kind of an approach to make these type of solar cells into a lower cost, as well as the higher efficiency, and then the purely based on the process difference. Like they wanted to have a completely environmental friendly material which can be scalable as well actually. But unfortunately, these third generation solar cells are like so they have a low scalability, and then low stability, as well as the scaling up challenges are very, very high. But to me it's very fascinating, and then I started doing my research, PhD in the organic type solar cells, and then into the dye-sensitive solar cells, and then slowly moved into the perovskite solar cells nowadays actually. The fourth generation solar cells comes from the algae. So like a live mechanism. So if you throw an photon, the algae can able to absorb that photon, and then it can give rise to a 1 electron or 2 electrons. Some of the algae can give. So the electrons can be collected and then used as a solar energy. So or the energy process. So that's the fourth generation solar cells. And then we tried some of the algae stuffs for the fourth generation, but they are not very much efficient, and then compared to the third generation solar cells, and then they are nowhere nearer. So for these three generations, the first generation, the silicon solar cells, almost like a 93 to 95% of market share it takes. So the efficiency level also very, very high actually, almost like theoretically, so you can go up to, for a single junction, you can go up to a 33.3% efficient solar cells actually for a single junction. and then they can they approach almost like a 27% efficiency nowadays. And the second generation, again, so they have they try to focus on the building integrated solar cells, and then like a Windows applications, and then some of the applications in the satellite applications, or some of the microwave based applications as well. They are focusing on that, but still they are catching up and then trying to focus on the areas where silicon can be lagging actually. And third generation solar cells, it in terms of the efficiency and other stuff, they are very low. But still they try to focus on some of the markets, which I will tell you in a minute actually. So the in terms of, if you take the silicon solar cells and thin film solar cells are much simpler, and then much flexible, and their thickness is less than 2 micrometer to 10 micrometer. Some of the solar cells nowadays comes below 2 micrometer as well actually. Some of the materials like cadmium telluride, if you have a 300 nanometer thick solar cells, it can able to absorb the light, and then it can able to generate electricity almost like a 6 to 7% efficient type solar cells you can get from that. So in the monosilicon or polysilicon, or 3-5 compounds, you need to have a very thick layers of the materials actually. So that puts lots of trouble in the area of the wafers, as well as the rigidity into the modules, and then the integration of the modules are completely very complicated sometimes actually. So you cannot have the large area stuffs. So the thin films, so they have an advantage of having a large area deposition, like an 1 meter by 1 meter or 2 meter by 2 meter. The machine what we have in our lab actually, it can go up to 2 meter by 1 meter. So CAGS solar cells in a single minute, and then it can able to scribe as well. So the monolithic module integration will be very easy to prepare in-house. You don't need to break the vacuum or anything. It's everything can be done in the one single machine actually. So that gives an advantage for the thin film solar cells as well actually. So, but even though, so first generation, second generation have lots of advantages, and then the efficiency level is very high as well. But I personally connected to the very colorful and then flexible type solar cells actually. So if you take the dye-sensitive solar cells or the third generation solar cells, in general, like OPV or perovskite type solar cells, you can able to create varieties of colors from that one actually. So the even amorphous silicon also comes under this category actually. So it can able to create lots of colorful type solar cells as well actually. So we call it as a third generation, or I call them as a 3G type solar cells. So where I just focus on the only three major type of materials here. One is the devices like dye-sensitive solar cells, and then the organic photovoltaics, and then perovskite type solar cells. So in terms of the advantages, they are very flexible. You can able to cover the entire sun spectrum, having the different types of layers or different types of materials, or by tuning the band gap, you can able to get the full spectrum as well actually. So that advantage you will have, and then by creating the nanoparticles or the diameter of the nanomaterials, you can able to tune their colors as well actually. So and then it offers a very low cost, and then the very low energy production cost, or the payback time will be very low. So for example, the payback time for a solar PV systems based on the silicon can go up to 3 years to 7 years or 8 years sometimes. And then if you take the cadmium telluride or CAGS based thin film type solar cells, it can go up to 3 years to 4 years actually, or 1.5 to 3 years it can take. For dye-sensitive solar cells, it's only 6 months. And the perovskite solar cells even less actually, because of the things. And then the most of the process, some of the materials we are using toxic materials here, like a perovskite, we use lead and other type of toxicities as well actually. Even though the toxicity level is very lower, and then we can adopt the environmental friendly protection methods for these type of solar cells actually. And then challenges wise, if you take the efficiency, any solar system, so if you make the 1 meter by 1 meter or system, it has to offer the maximum efficiency or the minimum efficiency of 10% on a module level. So in that aspect, so if you take the dye-sensitive solar cells, the lab scale devices can give you up to 14 to 15% efficiency. OPV can give you more than 10% efficiency, and then the perovskite solar cells almost like a 27 they are reaching nowadays actually. So and then the when you are scaling it up, as I said, the in a large scale, large area solar cells, you need to have at least 10% efficiency for a system in a larger system. So for dye cells, so it can give you a 10% efficiency. Some of the cells which is available in the market, and it can give you 10% efficient solar cells. And then the organic photovoltaics, already they are in the market. They are like a 13 to 15. Some companies are providing you a 16% organic PVs as well actually. And then perovskite solar cells, so which I bought last week, so which gives me almost like 17.5% efficiency. It's not a very big type of solar cell. It's like an A4 size. Commercially available solar cells I got, which can give you an maybe it can be improved in the further years actually. So coming years, and it can give you a very good type of efficiency later on. The stability and reliability these type of solar cells, so is a big question mark actually. So for example, dye-sensitive solar cells, it can offer you maximum 3 years efficiency. So for example, if I put it in my roof or in my windows or in any of my buildings or anywhere, I don't want to finish a project actually, start and then dismantle it after 3 years actually, right? So the organic PV also like 6 to 7 years, and then the perovskite solar cells are, we have no idea how long it can go actually. So because some of the studies, they are having an 2,000 hours, 3,000 hours testing, but we don't know so how they will work in the real-time environment outside, and then in a harsh weather conditions, something like that actually. So and then the stability and reliability is a big question mark in these type of solar cells. So obvious focus for me to have that stability issue and then reliability issue for the perovskite solar cells using a different types of materials approach actually. Some of the materials actually are the energy conversion. So we apply into the different types of things. The one is the major area, like 50 to 60% of our work is towards the increasing the stability and scalability of the perovskite solar cells. And then the other aspects like focusing on the dust accumulation on the solar panels everywhere. Maybe some of you have that experience of having a solar panels and then having a heavy dust will be accumulated over the time period. And then if you are living in UK and then European countries, you have a more wet weather, actually almost like a 250 days rain will be there, or at least the weather will be very gloomy, and then you don't have that much dust accumulation here. But even though we have reported some of the dust accumulation very worst in the UK as well actually. So we try to work on the self-cleaning type materials as well actually. That's a very small part of the work. And then almost like a 30 to 35% of our work is based on the building integration. So how you will attach the solar envelope into your buildings. So either it could be a new build or the retrofit actually. So and then how are the very old buildings, like if you take UK, so most of the buildings are 200 years old or 250 years old. How you are going to replace those materials, and then how you are going to adopt your solar panels on top, and then making the buildings as an energy hub actually. And then some of the very peculiar aspects of the agriculture, what we did, apart from our agri-photovoltaics research, and then we try to focus on the some of the very very weird type of thing. It's, to me, it's very weird, and most of you people might hear about it actually. So there is a the heat stroke comes on the in the animals actually in in the cold countries like UK. So what I mean by a heat stroke is actually like in a winter time, so the outside temperature is 3 degree, 4 degree, quite often 0 degree for months, like 3 months, 4 months, something like that. These the animals, the milking animals or milching animals, they don't want to go outside for the grazing and other stuff. They wanted to cuddle together, and then in the cow burns, and they stay together and trying to eat and then drink more water inside there. So the problem is when they are coming together, because of the high energy feed given to the cows, they generate more body temperature. Like the body temperature has to be 40 to 45 to have a normal type of cows. And then these cows actually, they can go up to 45 degree, and then some worst cases it can go up to 52, 53. When after reaching the 45, they tend to drink more water. When they are drinking more water, and then the milk yield is lower. So when they are, when they came up with this problem actually, so we have a problem of some period of our during the year, so we get a very low milk yield because of we don't know why. Then some of our colleagues actually who are working in the agriculture sector, they said it may be because of the heat stroke, and then nobody believed it, and then we measured inside the rumen and then outside the temperature as well actually. And as a material scientist or the material researcher, I want to come up with a problem, like a solution for these cows actually to remove the temperature locally. So what we did actually, so we created coatings for to absorb the heat from the cow burn, and then storing it for different purposes, or the reusing it actually, like using using them for like hot water purposes or the cleaning purposes, something like that actually. So that's also a major part of our work actually at the moment. It's going on. Then the pattern is like an ongoing aspect actually. So apart from that, so as I said, like 50 to 60% of my work is based on the perovskite type solar cells. I think this guy actually. He's Usain Bolt actually, and then he is the fastest person on the planet. He can run the 100 meter below 10 seconds, right? So we took to run this 10 meter, the 100 meters. So almost like 1970s, we started running the 100 meters in a very high speed, and almost like start from the 13 seconds and then come to the 10 seconds. We were there for a long time in the 10 seconds, 10.1, 10.2, something like that actually. And then almost like we took 50 years to reach the 9.58, which is almost like 45 years it took this man did it. So like that actually, the silicon solar cells, it started in 1950s, and then it reaches the highest efficiency last year, almost like a 27% as a laboratory scale. So it took almost like a 75 years to reach that part. So other type of solar cells, they learn from those type of materials and then try to quickly go from the smaller percentages to the higher percentages. The perovskite is one among them actually. So it started with 3% efficiency, and then it ramped up very quickly within 10 years to 26% efficiency. So those who are working in the perovskite know about it actually very well. And then when it started in the architecture of Dyson's ray solar cells, and then it it removed the electrolytes from that and go into the solid state devices, and then extremely thin absorber layer devices, and then mesoscopic devices as a perovskite. So these are all the developments which happened. So as I said, silicon took more than 50 years to reach 25% efficiency, and then the perovskite solar cell take only 10 years of research into this part actually. So the problem with this one for the young researchers or the established researchers as well actually, every hour there is a paper published in the perovskite solar cell research. If someone wants to start a PhD or want to do a research in or want to establish something in this field, it's extremely difficult for them to find the narrow field and then trying to establish that one actually. So every hour there is one paper will be published from the perovskite growth. It's up to 2017 I put. So there are, if you put now actually, so I'll become mad actually. So that much amount of papers will be published nowadays actually. So so we don't want to focus in that area, and then we take the large scale devices, not the smaller devices, and then trying to fix them. We wanted to fix them in a large scale device, not the smaller devices. Our aim is not to improve the efficiency of the device. Our aim is to improve the stability and the longevity of these devices actually. So for that, so the first of all, the problem with the perovskite, most of the high-end or high-performing perovskites actually all processed in the glow box or in a very controlled atmosphere. We wanted to break that one, and then we are making the solar cells in the room temperature. So most of our solar cells are whatever paper you are seeing, they're all made outside of the glow box, not inside the glow box. Very few of them on trying to compare some of the results. So that's why those times we make the solar cells inside our glow box, or most of the time outside. So and then in terms of the carbon or the organic type HTM, we wanted to use the inorganic whole transporting materials, and then we use the mixed perovskite approach as well. We take the different types of perovskite and then putting them together and having a right type of band gap and then absorption for having the longer stability type solar cells. And then we wanted to use the screen printing techniques or 3D printing or inkjet printing, which can be scalable very easily, not the deep coating or the small area coatings, something like that actually. And then the innovation in these ones, we try to use the carbon materials a lot as a HTM in here, and then we try to integrate the perovskite with our concentrating devices as well, which we will talk about later. Now I'll just quickly show you a few of the things we have done to improve the morphology of the dye sensor solar cells, as well as using the same technique into the perovskite type solar cells as well actually. So we have the stability increase based on this morphology tuning based on the barium stannate in our cells. These are all the devices without having any encapsulation or anything. So it can go up to 30 days or 40 days in a smaller scale, like a 1 centimeter square for 30 days without having a problem of degradation and other stuff actually. And then so we use the cadmium stannate for this reason, and then trying to use the different types of stannate materials and see how it can be adopted, and then how it can increase the stability and longevity of these devices actually. And then we introduced the buffer layer because we wanted to remove the metal layer as a contact. We want to use carbon as a contact actually. So in that period, we try to use the aluminum oxide or the tungsten oxide to increase the mobility or of the electrons within the aluminum oxide, where classically people are trying to use these type of perovskite type solar cells. And then we have a carbon, which is just a carbon material. So and then trying to see what type of effects it creates in the perovskite type solar cells as well, in terms of lifetime of these type solar cells. And then so we tested in different varieties, and then we found out like a 5% mix of tungsten oxide can give you a better results and then the better longevity of these devices as well. So whatever you see, they are all smaller devices, like a 1 centimeter square, and then we did some bigger scale devices as well. And this is the one, like, and the as I mentioned to you, like the mixed type solar the perovskite devices actually. So we take the different types of solar device, the perovskites, and then instead of the lead based device, and then we use strontium based, calcium based, and then the tantalum based ones as well, and then try to see those perovskites how it can be fit, or whether we can able to replace the TiO2 in the dye synthesis layer. If that can be done, we can be used in this can be used into the perovskite solar cells as well. These are all the having an objective of to approach the higher stability devices. And then we use different types of carbon allotropes actually. So we use with PMMA and then without PMMA as well actually. And then we see what is the stability it can create in the smaller devices actually. And then so we used some of the TiO2 synthesis methods as well, having a different synthesis methods, and then using those TiO2 into the DSC as well as into the perovskite solar cells as well actually. And these are some of the nanorod patterns, and these are usual results. So that's why I'm skipping very quickly actually. So when we are going into the question and answer session, and then we can, if anybody wants to have a look at these things, and then we can just talk about them in detail. And then the ambient type perovskite solar cells. So whatever we learned from the perovskites, different types of perovskites, and then different types of carbon materials, and then we adopted them here, and then try to achieve the efficiency level, which is very decent, like a 15 to 16%. Sometimes it can go up to 17% efficiency as well actually. And then as I said, our aim is to have a bigger type solar cell, bigger scaled up devices, not the smaller devices actually. So we know when we are using the tungsten oxide and then combination of carbon materials, we can able to push these boundaries, like the solar perovskite solar cells can be withstanding for months, so without having any encapsulation. When we are having an encapsulation, and then can go up to a year and 2 years, something like that. It's under study, that's why I'm not reporting it here. Actually, almost like we are testing last 6 months one solar cells with encapsulation and without encapsulation as well. And then 6 months old cells without encapsulation, we see some decline, and then with encapsulation, there is no decline at all actually. So those results we will update in terms of papers and reports. You can have a look at them later on. And then so I'm more interested into the scaling up aspect of the device. And then for that, so when you are having a scaling up, and then this will happen into the organic solar cells and dye sensitized solar cells, as well as perovskite solar cells as well. So we lose quite a lot of efficiency, in a large way. So for that, what we came up with an idea of having an perovskite solar cell under the concentrators. So when you have a concentrator, and then you will there are two advantages. The concentrators are designed to have an energy of 1 sun or more throughout the period. So for example, if you have low light conditions, maybe outside condition will be 600 watt per meter square, then it can boost up to 1 or 1.2 1200 watt per meter squared radiation on top of those solar cells. So like that, we take the perovskite solar cell, and then there is a compound parabolic collectors based the devices, and then we just couple them together into the devices, and then we try to maximize these things actually. these are only the very small test, like because when you are creating a concentration, and then you will be increasing the temperature on the device largely. So as you know, actually when you are increasing temperature more than 50 degree into the solar cell, and then they degrade faster. So to avoid that one, we try to have some heat sinks backside of the solar cells as well, and then we have some PCM approaches as well actually in these type of solar cells. But this is the temperature or the stability we got after 1 hour testing them under the 2.5 sun illumination actually. So that's one aspect. And in terms of the agricultural aspect, as I said, the passive cooling technique. So we had the cow burns, and then using these carbon coatings in this fashion, and then we just put them inside the cow burns, and then we try to reduce the temperature to the room temperature, like 30 degree or 32 degree temperature in there actually. So this paper is reported in the scientific reports actually, so in 2020. So its pattern is underway, so something like that. Now, apart from that actually, so quite a lot of time we learn from the nature, so most of the material process we try to learn from the nature. So there are lots of butterflies actually in UK. In the winter time they struggle to fly because most of their wings will be frozen in the cold temperature. So what they will do, some of the butterflies actually, they align their wings into the V shape, like the trapping shape, and then the light can pass through and create a hot environment for their bodies, and then they can fly quicker than the other type of butterflies actually. So we take these ones because the butterfly wings are very light. Butterfly itself very light actually. So you take the butterfly wings, and then if you use these wings into your concentrators, and then how it can be affecting, or how it can just give an enough kind of an energy for our devices, as well as how we can reduce the weight, because when the one I showed you in there, I'll just a minute, I'll show you another device actually, so I think you will get an idea about it actually. So this is the kind of a device we make. So this like a solar blocks. So we have the concentrators, and then in the bottom of these ones we will be embedding the solar cells here, and then connections will be made. And so it can go as a wall, window, or facade, whatever it is, something like that. So this one is almost like an kg, 1 kilo actually, this one. So to reduce these weight, then it can be applied to many different applications. So for that, what we try to take some of these butterflies, and then use those butterfly wings into our concentrators actually. So these butterflies is called actually the white beard butterflies actually, and these butterflies actually fly faster than the other type of butterflies actually there. And what we did, we take the wings, and then did lots of analysis for the EQ analysis for solar cells, and we use this silicon type solar cells actually here, and then find it out where it is reflected, and then where it will be absorbed, and then the small white beard butterflies actually, these are the two different butterflies actually, where so they have almost similar to our concentrators, where it will absorb and then reflect as well actually. So we used these butterfly wings as our concentrators, and then we try to create the things. And then what we did actually, so we have different angles, wing orientations, and then about 20 to 23, and then we got the optimum efficiency. The more reflection we got in that area, and then the temperature also going up, and then we fixed that that angle, and then we used it in our solar cells. You can see the solar cell alone, so will be here, and then with the you know the with the reflector, so this is the thing, and then with the our solar wings, it can go up to this much actually. The efficiency will boost up a lot, so that means it's concentrating the sunlight. And then we got the current increased by 40%, and then the open circuit voltage increased by 1.5%, and the maximum power overall increased up to 42% in that one actually. So the overall, so we have almost like an 17 times lighter than these ones. So for example, if you are having a 1 kg, then you will be getting it almost like an in grams of weight in these type of butterflies. And then this is the butterfly wing, and then recreating this butterfly wing is extremely difficult, and it's almost impossible. So these type of beads, they are like a rugby ball beads, so they looks like a rugby ball, and then they are the responsible for the 62% reflectance is happening. And then these are the empty spaces, and then what we did actually, we take the carbon fibers and then connecting them together, and then creating these like a ladder type structure is easier, and then embedding the TiO2 nanoparticles with a rugby shape is extremely difficult in this aspect actually. It's all going on, and then one of our PhD student postdoc, now she become a academic, and then she is working on these type of biomimicking type solar cells. And then we wanted to use these ones in my perovskite type solar cells, and then creating a low weight or the lighter type solar panels actually for the building integrated applications. And then since 2015, so we used quite a lot of techniques to improve our efficiency from that 10% up to 16-17% efficiency in these type of solar cells, using the different types of things actually. And then, as I said, the concentrators are having lots of advantages, and then we used the concentrators on these devices as well. They are bigger ones, like a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter encapsulated devices, which gave a very good results, which you can see in some of our papers is published in the Cell journal actually. So and then the concentrating devices, you can see the current increase is happening. These are all the things which is for the number of days actually. So if you see like 12 days we tested these type of cells, and then the efficiency were intact. The current decrease was not happening, but there was a decline in the voltage side actually. So that is fixed now actually. So we are improving these devices as well. That's our aim. In another 3 years down the line, we wanted to have a 1 centimeter square with an effective concentrators like these ones which I showed you, and then the large cells with the different types of solar concentrators on top of them. So thank you very much for listening. I'm sure I gave you a kind of overview about these ones, and then it's last slide but not the least one. So we have 1 Earth. I used to tell this thing to all my presentations actually, so I just try to tell you again here as well. So we have only one Earth, and then we see drastic changes in the climate nowadays actually. So there is a huge rainfalls, and then all flooding and everything happening in some part of the world, and some part of the world become the dry, and lots of things are happening actually. Almost like we touch the 1.5 degree Celsius at the moment, and then it may happen if we have another 0.2 degree rise, it may be devastating for the Earth actually. So we have only one Earth. It's our rented home, and then it's not fair to destroy this for our own purposes. we have to leave this earth after a certain time, and then the other people will come and occupy. For them actually, we need to leave the earth intact actually. Thank you very much. And then I'm just stop sharing. Thank you. So I'm happy to take the questions.
Yes, Professor. Yes, Professor. 1 second. Do you want to interact with Sir? Dr. Ujjwala? Ujjwala is on. Go to 1 minute. One second, sir. 1 second.
Okay, sir. Now, apart from these ones, and then we started working on the agrovoltaic systems nowadays, and then which we are, there is a project between India and UK with Agriculture University, Tamil Nadu. So we work quite a lot with them actually. So we installed a 10 kilowatt system back in the Coimbatore campus in Tamil Nadu Agriculture University, and then so we have a 5 kilowatt system here actually, and that also play. I think so. We have lots of visitors now from India. So I have 10 visitors in our lab now, and then so another 5 will be joining next week as well. Actually, what are the thoughts on the wall-mounted solar panels on the future solar harvesting systems? Yeah, I think the buildings are the almost 40% energy utility happening through the buildings, and we need to innovate the buildings, and then the wall-mounted solar panels having a large market share actually. But I'm sure the silicon solar cell will take a back step in there, and then maybe thin film solar cells where you don't need to have an angle to absorb the maximum sunlight actually. So our perovskite solar cells can replace them very quickly. So as I showed you actually, these ones are exactly made for the wall purpose. Like most of the buildings nowadays comes with glass walls, glass fenestrations, and then these ones can able to give an extra boost for them to install it actually. So we have this wall created in IIT Madras, and if anybody very much interested to, voice is breaking. Okay, so is it any good now? I'm sure you are hearing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this wall actually we created one wall in IIT Madras with our cells actually, because we wanted to test these ones in India, and then if anybody interested to do a research or have a collaboration in these ones, I'm happy to talk to them and then take it forward from there.
Yes, sir. Yeah. This is related to food storage. So we have a lot of scope in the solar PV panel power production, because everywhere we are talking about renewable energy, starting from hydrogen and hydrogen production, and also we also fabricated on a solar photovoltaic based cold storage system. So in that way, this is very useful to the participants. So if
I think there are companies actually working on the cold storage system on the containers. So they use the solar photovoltaics and then the PCM, and trying to create the temperature like a 4 degree, 5 degree for chillers. Like most of our Indian scenario, so the agricultural point of view, we waste quite a lot of the vegetables and then food materials. So that can be saved, like especially the milk, and the milk products are wasted almost like a 50%, more than 50% will be wasted in the during the transportation and all those aspects actually. This can be addressed through these ones actually. Oh, thank you very much. I think
we have done the project in DST, about 1 crore project, with the collaboration of Liftam Tanjavur and NIT Trichy. exactly what you say.
Okay.
That we have solar photovoltaic based cold storage system we have developed, and we have demonstrated to the villages. So this can be this is mobile type one. We can brought to the harvesting.
Yeah. I think I have seen it.
Yeah.
I have seen it. I think 6 months before I have seen it in NIFTIM.
Okay.
So they showed me they explained to me all these things. Yeah. There is another question: how can solar panels be maintained to ensure best efficiency in Indian conditions? Yeah, that's very difficult actually. So because we have a problem in India of dusting, and then the heating. The heating can be maintained having enough aeration below the solar panels, and then maybe regular cleaning of those type of solar panels as well actually. And it's nowadays actually people are trying to use the PCMs like phase change materials below the solar panels, or continuous water circulation to generate the hot water instead of going for the tube collectors and other stuff actually. So they try to adopt the hot water system in the ordinary solar panels as well actually. So in that way we can able to maintain it, but most of the time actually, so it's very hard to maintain in Indian conditions actually, because the local temperature in the solar panels can go up to 70 degree in the peak summer. That actually, I think summer started there. So it's still in minus actually. Today is -1 in the morning, and I think 3 or 4 degree outside here. But still in India, I think the summer started. Yeah.
Somewhat comfortable. Morning, now that temperature is slowly increasing.
Increased. Yeah.
Yeah, if there are no more questions, we thank Dr. Sindhila sir for valuable time, and formally give vote of thanks. Joel, you can give vote of thanks to sir.
On behalf of everyone here, both the participants and the organizing committee, we would like to sincerely thank Dr. Sundarram Sendilarasu sir for an enlightening presentation on the role of renewable energies in food preservation. Your insights into the sustainable energy solutions and their potential to reduce environmental footprints were truly thought-provoking, sir. You told many things about the first generation, second generation, and third generation photovoltaic cells. And the colored solar panel is this is the first time I am seeing. And the butterfly-inspired solar cell also, it was very fascinating, sir. As the food industry moves towards the sustainable practices, your expertise has given us valuable perspectives on how renewable energy can enhance food preservation while promoting a greener future. We appreciate your time and effort in sharing your knowledge with us today. Thank you once again, and we look forward to further discussions and innovations in this vital field. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to meet you all. Thank you. I'll just leave
We'll
that.
meet you soon, sir. If you come to India,
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I will come and see you. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Participants, thank you so much. Today we are closing, and tomorrow we'll meet by 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yes.